What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? And this is Switch Up Sports. And today I want to come to you guys with a little bit of a message being the fact of belief. Before we get into anything, I do want to go ahead and let you guys know do all the fun YouTube and all the social media stuff like, comment, subscribe, share, all you guys know all the things, the bell on, all that stuff. Do all those things like, comment, share, bell, subscribe, follow, all of it. That's needed. Also, want to let you guys know, brand ambassador for both Liquid IV and Bucked Up. All the links of the things that I am a brand ambassador for that I do have discounts for are on my social medias. Link in the bio at mighty_Q21, both on Instagram and TikTok. So let's get into it. Today, the art of belief. The art of belief comes on the fact of whatever outcome you believe in your head is the outcome that's going to become your reality. If you feel like you're going to win, you feel like you're going to do really, really well, you feel like, and just believe, I'm going to do good today. I'm going to do XYZ thing. XY thing normally is going to happen, or some variation of XYZ is going to happen. It is the outcome that you desire in your head is going to manifest itself out in the open. The word manifest, a lot of people get misconstrued. A lot of things happen because of that word. And I don't think it's just, oh, I think this is going to happen. And then you don't have any action behind it. The point is the things that you think about and obsess in your head normally then steer your actions. If you're obsessed about football, let's use Tom Brady for an example. Tom Brady was obsessed about football. Tom Brady thought only about football. Tom Brady only wanted to play football. Tom Brady only had football on his mind all the time. What happened? It resulted in the actions of he spent hours upon hours in the film room studying and getting better. He spent hours and hours about the correct diet and perfecting to make sure that it was perfect for him and it gave him the best chance to win and be better. He put constant, relentless hours throwing a football, getting his connections, studying the playbook, doing all things football. That is how he became the greatest of all time. He didn't become the greatest of all time because, he ended up winning all the Super Bowls or whatever. It was the preparation, it was the daily stuff that he did to get there. And it starts with belief. If you don't believe that you can become the greatest quarterback of all time, then you're not ever going to work hard enough to become the greatest quarterback of all time. When you believe it, it spurs your actions behind you. Personally, for myself, I look at it and I say, okay, I believed that I've always been a really good athlete. I've always believed that I can just hop in and play whatever sport, doesn't really matter. You kind of figure out, tell me the rules, I can get the grand concept and I'll figure it out. I'll make something happen. I played golf in college, I wrestled in college, I also cheered in college. I now play football. I've got a pro game in a couple weeks and I'm also going to be doing MMA at the end of the year. So that's 4 sports, fifth if we count cheer as an asterisk. But 4 sports at the college level or higher. I played some mini tour golf. I've now played semi-pro and I'm about to play professional football and going to be debuting as an MMA fighter by the end of the year. So for me, I've always believed I can achieve and do all these sports. I've always believed that not only can I play these sports, I can play them at a very high level. And that high level for me ends up being the result of I've got 2 defensive MVPs in the past 2 years of playing football. I've got three all-star selections. So at the end of the day, it's not just, oh, I just want to go out there and play. No, I not only believe that I can go out there and play, I believe I can go out there and play really, really well to the point that I'm going to be better than a lot of people. And that is my belief in my head. That belief also drives me to work every day. I get up at 5:30 and I'm working out for 2 to 3 hours before I, get my day started off. That's my most important thing that I do every day. Me working out is the most important thing I do every single day because of still being an athlete, of playing professional football in 2 weeks. That is the most important thing on my mind. Like, I'm not in this realm of like, oh, I need no, like working out is the most important thing. So that's the first thing I do. And so that spurs and drives me to try to be better, to try to do more things. And that's my belief. I believe that I can play professional football. I've believed it since I was a little kid. And so I've worked really hard since I was a little kid. I've played a lot of sports along the way, but I've always believed that I can be a professional athlete. And now I'm being in the realm of I can be a professional athlete in multiple sports. So that's a belief that kind of has evolved over the years and it became more things and it just kind of got to the point now where it's like, okay, I see where we're at. But it starts in the mind and it can trace all the way back to I remember when I was like 6 or 7 and my grandpa used to have us do this. He had my sister and I do this thing where we held our arm out to the side. And so we held our arm out to the side. We had to hold it like this while he took it and he pushed it down. And so we had to keep our arm up. And the first way that we did it was we told ourselves, I'm strong. I can hold my arm. I'm really strong. I'm powerful. And it was just repeating like I'm strong, I'm powerful. Like I'm strong, I'm powerful. I'm strong and I'm powerful. Just over and over, like 5 to 10 times. And he then would like try to push our arm. And essentially what would happen is like be here and we push it and like it's kind of hold, and then it would go down. Grandpa was way stronger than us. Like let's not even forget on that. We then did the exact same thing, but we told ourselves, I'm weak. I'm weak. I'm weak. We did it over and over and over. So the next time we held it out there, arm didn't even get just straight down. We did it again, went back. I'm strong. I'm strong. I'm strong. I can hold it. I'm strong. I'm strong. The same thing happened as the first time. We held it for a few seconds and then it gave way. But the key is we held it for a few seconds. That was the point. When you tell yourself you're weak, when you tell yourself, oh, it's so bad. Oh, this is the worst. Oh, this is only happening to me. Oh, woe is me. Woe is me. Poor me. Victim me. Victim me. I'm bad. I'm weak. I'm this. The negative self talk only plants negative seeds in your mind. And the oldest rule, the oldest parable, the oldest story, the oldest semi philosophy is the philosophy behind you reap what you sow. To bring that into 21st century terms, sowing is planting, reaping is the harvest. So if you plant good things, you happen to get good things and the result. It's not right away, it happens over time. Who knows? It could be a Chinese bamboo tree that takes 10 years, and on that 10th year, boom, shoots up to like 30 feet. Who knows? But until you get to that point, you have no results, 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 no results. Boom, giant tree. It's just about working. And now that tree is a giant tree. And it the same goes for the negative. If you only say negative things to yourself, you only plant negative seeds, you only get negative things. That's how it happens. I've told myself the negative self talk. I've said I wasn't good enough. I've said that I wasn't these things, and it only impacted me negatively. Not only does it impact you negatively, it impacts you worse than the state that you were in when you were in that bad self talk. The same way that the good impacts you more than the positive self talk that you have, because that's the funny part about reaping and sowing is you normally reap more than what you sow. You normally get more than what you put in. It's actually kind of like, hey, you put in $1, you get $2. Like you do get more than what you put out, but it works in both fashions. You can't have all the good without a lot of bad that comes with it. It's about balance. Everything is about balance. You can look at the Chinese proverbs, you can look at the Americanized proverbs, you can look at church, you can look at science. Everything at the end of the day comes back to balance. There's a positive side, there's a negative side. If you break everything down to its fundamental things, it is made up of it is atoms. And when it's atoms, you have a proton, you have an electron, a positive and a negative with a neutral core that makes it a neutral thing because the positive offsets the negative. That's it. It is constructed fundamentally, everything on this realm planet is made up of atoms. All of those things, every atom has a proton and an electron, a positive and a negative. So everything, because matter is neither created nor destroyed, energy is neither created nor destroyed. Anything you do will have the equal effect of what you want. If you're only putting good into the world, the only thing you can get out of it will be good. If you plant good seeds, nature is going to give you a good crop. They're not like if you go and you plant pumpkin seeds, you're not then suddenly going to get corn. Like that's just not how it works. What you plant is what you get. If you plant, I'm going to get up every day. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to bust my ass. I'm going to give it my 110 all every single day when I get up and go after it. Then you are going to reap the benefits of getting up and pushing yourself and getting after it and doing all that you can do. You're going to reap the benefit of that. It might not be the first day, might not be the second day, might not be the 10th day, might not be the 10th year, but maybe the 10th year and one day, it might be the day that all of it comes forth. So which do you want to work? Do you want to stay in the art of disbelief and the art of negative self-talk and the art of negative thinking and the art of constantly sowing negative seeds to only reap the negative benefits later on? Or do you want to only plant good things and good seeds to only reap the great that it has to offer in the future? You're right. We don't know what the future has. We don't know. We can't account for anything other than what's happening right now. The future has not happened yet. Everything could change. But you know what? The past you can't change. So you can't control that and you can't control what happens in the future. You can control what happens right now. And you know what? Right now, today, you can work as hard as you possibly can. Give it 110% to be better at whatever you want to get better at. If it's getting better at sports, go get better at sports. Go work out, go run, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups. Do anything that is active with your 100% best. That is what I try to do every single day. I wake up, I don't want to go to the gym that early, but I know I have to go to the gym that early because working out is the most important thing I can do that day. Everything else in my day, it can wait. Me working out that day is the most important thing I need to do. So you know what? I'm going to get up and get after it early as I can because by the time I'm done working out, I start about 6:30, 6:45. I'm normally done. I normally have had food and sometimes even showered by 9:30, 10 o'clock. Now, you tell me how many people have done their most important thing for the day that they needed to get done that's going to be about 3 hours of a process round the clock, and they have got that done by 10 o'clock. Not many people have that done. Whatever is the most important thing you have to get done that day, do it immediately when you get up. Do it immediately. It's the hardest task of the day. It's the most important thing you can do. It is the one thing that you know if you get it done, it's going to be a step forward in the right direction. Get up and get it done because you know what makes it a lot easier? If you start some forward momentum, you start making progress, you get the most important thing that you need to get done today. If you get nothing else done, you know that you got the most important thing done that you could have in that day. Who knows? You could, for me, in this example, working out is the most important thing that I do each and every day because I'm about to be a professional athlete. I get up and I go work out, and I normally start my workout about 6:30. That workout can take 3 hours round the clock by the time I get warmed up, do the actual lift, do my cool down, do my stretching, get back, have some food. Round the clock, 3.5 hours. By the time it's 10 o'clock, I can now do whatever else I want to do. So if someone calls me and said, "Hey, I need you to, come help me out and do XYZ thing," I can go do XYZ thing because I'm now done and I've gotten my most important thing out of the way. I made my progress. I busted my butt. I did all that I could possibly do. But now I can constantly check off all the rest of the things that I can do the rest of the day. What's the second most important thing? Well, maybe it's a podcast. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe it's getting a website done. Maybe it's sending an email. Maybe it's sending a text. Maybe it's going to a lunch. Maybe it's going to a different meeting. Maybe it's giving a phone call. Whatever it has to be, do the most important thing you have to do in the day right when you get up. If you have to get up slightly earlier to go get it done slightly earlier. Whatever is going to give you the most progress, the most important thing for you to do in the day, get up and do it immediately. It completely changed my life. It completely changed my life. I used to be a person, I was forced to get up for morning workouts growing up, both in high school and in college. and afterwards. I've never been a morning workout guy. I hate working out in the mornings. I am a night owl. I tried it. I used to be the person I would more regularly stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning where I hadn't gone to sleep rather than the amount of times that I would get up at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't get up in the morning. I don't. I am a night owl. I operate fantastic at night. You get me at 10 o'clock, that's like 6 o'clock in the afternoon for me. I'm up easily. No, there was no problem. I was up for a stretch in college. There wasn't a time that I went to sleep before 3 a.m. for almost 2 years. And now I've gotten to the point, even the last 6 to 9 months, I still would very regularly stay up till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm now to the point where I go to sleep at about 11:30 and I'm up at 5:30 so I can go get my workout done because it is important for me to have my workout done before any emails, before any text messages, before any phone calls. A lot of stuff that happens, like most people when they go to work, it's like even if they work an 8 to 5, let's say they get to work at 8. Sometimes people get there at 8:15. By the time they get their morning coffee, by the time they get their email set up, by the time they get actually running, by the time they get everything, I go to the bathroom, I get my coffee, I talk to so and so, I get caught up about yesterday's game, we bullshit, we talk, we chit chat, I check some email, I might, have some type of meeting coming up, but normally things start about 10 o'clock. It's just kind of the way it works. People have that 2 hour window in the morning. I know how it is. I've worked the 8 to 5 corporate world before. I've seen how people operate the first 2 hours of the day. And it's about like that. Oh, you're groggy. You got to have the coffee. Oh, you got to bullshit with someone at the coffee machine. Oh, well, I can't really function unless I get my coffee going in the morning. And oh, well, I get my coffee and I go to the bathroom and I've got my little ritual thing. And then by the time I get back to my desk, I respond to yesterday's emails because, at 5:01, I'm already out the door in the parking lot headed home because I'm not staying the extra 5 minutes to answer the email that just came in. I'll get that tomorrow. So you spend this like recovery time and like you're like treading water trying to get to like your important stuff. So by the time like 10 o'clock comes around, it's like, oh, like most people start normally into their workday. Then they work for about 2 hours and they go to lunch at noon. And then they're gone from 12 to 1. And then they get back after lunch at 1. And then it's about 30 minutes of like a carryover of like, okay, about 1:30, you kind of start to do something. But normally a lot of people tend to, it's like, oh, well, they go to the bathroom about 2 o'clock. And then they kind of get another cup of coffee or they get some other drink or something. And then they do some more work at about 3 and they work for about an hour, depending on what they had for lunch. Some people they hit the ground running at 2 o'clock. They get that initial hour. They work from like 2 to 3, solid. They work from 2 to 4, solid. But then that 4 o'clock window comes around, and boy, are they tired. They are tired. They're just beat down. They just can't do it. A lot of times because of what they had from lunch. But it tends to happen. They're like, last hour of the day, they kind of go to the bathroom, they go over the water cooler, they're talking to another coworker, they're doing something else, and they're hanging out over here, and then they're kind of skimping. And it's like, well, I'm gonna get out a little early today, and it's 4:45 or maybe it's 4:55, but either way, 5 o'clock, boom, out the door. Sit in traffic, you get home at 6, eat some dinner, let's call it 7:30. You sit down, you watch a little TV. It's 9, maybe 10 o'clock. There was a big game on. It was Monday Night Football, so it's 10:15, and by the time it's 10:15, and I get a shower, and it's now 11 o'clock, and I'm in bed, and it's like, well, I gotta go to sleep. I gotta get up because I gotta make it to work by 8 o'clock. Where in there is there any belief that that's exactly the way that we should be doing it? Let me describe to you my day. Get up 5:30. Basically I have like a 30-minute like, okay, I'm up. Let's go. Let's get after it. It's going to be a great day. I've started this new thing. Came from Zig Ziglar. Wake up. When the alarm clock goes off, first off, I took the snooze off of my alarm clock, so I have to actually like physically turn it off. So if I actually go back to sleep, like I'm ruined. So the alarm goes off at 5:30. It's 5:35 actually. So it goes off at 5:35. I have to actually like get up and turn it off because there's no snooze on it anymore. So I'm up. I have another alarm that goes off at 5:40 as like it like cues. Like I basically sit there for about 5 minutes. Um, I'm normally up and I'm normally like already kind of just like sitting up and or like I'm talking like petting with the dog or like looking like planning out the day, whatever. It's just like 5 minutes of just like easy thinking, just kind of like, hey, let's just kind of just like funnel, clear out the mind, just 5 minutes of silence. Now don't really do much. Sometimes I even fall back asleep for that 5 minutes and I'm up at 5:40. So 5:40 happens, I'm up, take the dog out, come back in, get ready, get dressed for the workout. There are some days that I do eat before the gym. I'll have like a little thing of oatmeal before I go, but that's only the days that like I'm actually like really, really hungry and like something's just kind of where I'm just like, all right, I need to eat. Go to the gym. Normally there about 6:30. Start workout about 6:30, 6:35. Sit in the sauna 10, 15 minutes, warm up, do a warm up, start the lift. Normally 6:45, 7 o'clock is when I normally start lifting. Lift for an hour and a half, 2 hours, do a cool down. Sometimes sit in the sauna again at the end, do my running, do whatever type of then cool down, massage work, and normally back home 9:30. Normally about round the clock by the time I leave, start the workout, done, back. It's normally about 9:30, 10 o'clock. So right when people would normally be starting their work days and getting into their most important things, I've already knocked that off my list. I got the most important thing out of the way. So at 10 o'clock, I'm already refreshed. I already got my shower. I already got my breakfast. And I'm now sitting down and I'm starting in on the second most important thing I'm doing that day. Sometimes it's social media. Sometimes it's a podcast. Sometimes it's writing. Sometimes it's reading. Sometimes it's sending emails. That changes on the day by day. Like the second most important thing is not normally the same thing every day. There are some days that it's like social media stuff is my like second, and like that's a solid second. Like that's a lot of days, but it's not as important sometimes as other things. So I normally have the most important thing, and a lot of times my second most important thing done before 10 a.m. The only thing I'm then going forward from 10 a.m. is I'm working on my third most important thing. If you get the three most important things done every single day, you do that for a week. Tell me how different your life will be in a week. Because I guarantee you, the last 30 days where I started doing this, hey, I'm going to get up and go work out, and that's the most important thing. So I can have the second most important thing started before I'm even at the midway point of the day. A lot of times, the second and third most important things are done before 1 o'clock. I'm normally done with all the three most important things I need to get done every single day are normally done for me by 1 o'clock. Now, I do take a little bit of breaks in there. I do intense work. So normally from like 10 to 1, that's normally I'm sitting down and I'm getting a lot of work done. And then I normally will take about an hour break because it's the same for lunch. Like I still need to eat. I still need to get the nutrients. I still need to do things. Like your mind does need a break. I then will sit down and do whatever the most next important thing is. And I give that its full attention and its full time. And I do that for 100%. And then whenever I'm done with that task, I then will have dinner or I'll have some other food or I'll go do something else or what. But it works in a list. If you know what you're doing every day, it makes it a lot easier because you can subconsciously think about some stuff. So, like, I know working out's my most important thing. So, like, while I'm working out, my mind is normally thinking about the second and third most important things that I have to get done that day. So, when I'm done with my workout, I've already had a thought process and thinking of, okay, I just went to war with myself in that workout. That was a really good workout. I gave it all I could. That was the most important thing. I'm glad that I got that done during that time where I was having that conversation with myself and I was battling with myself, I also had a thought process of ways that I can achieve the second most important thing and the third most important thing for that day. So as soon as I'm done with my workout, I can get home and I can get right to work. Get home, shower, food, and I'm right to work. Because I already have a plan laid out, once that's done, perfect. I already know what I'm doing as the next thing. I think a lot of the times we just genuinely don't know what to do. There are too many things that we can decide and think of, and we just go, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I don't know what I want to do with this. I don't know if I'm going to do this here. So it ends up being in this weird, like, once you figure out what you're doing, it makes it really easy if you just ask yourself, what's the most important thing I have to do today? What's the second most important thing I have to do today? What's the third most important thing I have to do today? And it works. It's going to end up working out. It's going to funnel in. You're going to know what you have to work on because what you have to work on is not the same that I have to work on, or what Sally has to work on, or what Jim has to work on, or what Paul has to work on. Whatever it ends up being, you're going to know what you have to work on. You just have to ask yourself. And so it's this weird conversation of, well, how do I ask myself? And it's, what do you believe in? What do you believe in? If you believe that you're going to be a professional athlete and that's the only thing that you want to do, well, you know what's probably going to happen then? There's probably going to be something in you that says, hey, I want to be a professional athlete. If you want to be a professional athlete, you should probably do these things. And if you do these things and you do them every single day, you're probably going to become a professional athlete. Now, those 3 things could or, those handful of things could be, A, you wanna lift, you wanna run, and you wanna do some other type of thing. Or it's, "Hey, you should talk to this person, this person." Whatever it ends up being, it's gonna be different for a lot of people, but it's like the professional athlete example, you're probably gonna tell yourself, it's like, "Oh, I should probably lift and do these things," or like even if you're not knowing what to do, you'll still have a general idea of like, oh, you should probably go and do this. And it's like, okay, well, how do I do that thing? Well, that's a lot easier. It's like, well, how do I lift? Well, that's a lot easier of a question. What do you want to work on? Do you want to do chest? Do you want to do shoulders? Do you want to do back? Do you want to do legs? Do you want to do, all these other things that you can do? Cardio, sprints, like long list. That's no problem. It starts with what do you do? Workout. Boom. Okay. That's the most important thing. Okay. What kind of workout? And you just keep asking questions and it funnels itself down to where you just kind of get more specific, more specific, more specific. And what ends up happening is you go, oh, okay. I should do this workout for this long, do this thing, and then this thing. Cool. So it could work out to where, all right, I'm going to do a push day workout. I'm going to run a mile. I'm going to do this as a cool down. I'm going to eat this when I get home, and then I'm going to shower and I'm going to work on this thing until I'm done, and I'll figure out what the next thing is, but I have to finish this. Cool. That sounds great. Get after it. Boom, boom, boom. You start knocking stuff off, but it comes with what do you believe in? If you don't believe in anything, if you just believe like, oh yeah, I'm just kind of here just to be here. I'm just kind of doing the things, I'm just kind of, I just believe in just making sure that my one bill is paid. Well, okay, then what are you going to do? You're going to make sure that one bill is paid. And what's going to happen is you're going to work just hard enough to make sure that one bill is paid. And you're going to end up in a situation where you're going, I really don't know what's going on. It's like, yeah, because you're only focused on this one thing. That one thing is this small level thing that you can achieve a lot more. It's allowing your mind to dream and go be to its wildest place because you're the only person that was given those dreams, those outcomes, those predictions, those visions, whatever it may be. Those are only given to you in your head. Every person gets different ones. The visions that I've seen in my head is different than the vision in other people's head. The destiny and outcome for me is different than destiny, destination, and outcome for other people. So that's where that ends up getting worked into. It's what do you believe? How do you believe it? And how are you going to go about it? Important thing, what do you believe? Do you believe you're going to be a professional athlete? Do you believe you're going to be a, professional clarinet player? Do you believe that you're going to have a resounding art career? Do you believe you're going to be an architect? Do you believe you're going to be an accountant? Do you believe you're going to be a teacher? Do you believe you're going to be, a cop or whatever? Whatever you need to believe in and believe to be and to believe to see, start there. Start at that thing. Then you can start to asking some other questions of like, okay, how do I become this thing? Great question. Let's start asking some questions. Let's start finding some answers. It starts with questions, though. You have to get the questions. You have to ask the questions to get the answers and use the answers to ask more questions to get more answers. But unless you start asking the questions to get the immediate answer, you won't ever get started because you're not asking questions. You're not going to get an answer if you don't ask a question. So you have to ask the questions. You then get the answers. You break down the answers into more questions and you ask those questions very specifically. And you will continue to analyze and put yourself together a plan that's going to end up working out, that you follow that plan every single day because success is not about doing extraordinary things one or two times. It's about doing the daily little things extraordinarily well. And you do it day after day after day after day after day after day after day, like a Chinese bamboo tree. You take care of it for years and years and years. You see no results. And then one day you look outside and boom, a 30-foot tall tree, because that's exactly how it works. It's how invested are you? How committed are you? How much are you willing to give? Are you going to give 110% or are you going to give 90% and save that 10% because you don't truly believe? Believe like a kid. Kids don't give, I'll use a different terminology. Believe like a kid. When kids go out to play, they if you were to ask them, they are playing like they are an actual cowboy, they're an actual Indian, they're an actual cop, they're an actual robber, whatever it ends up being. Kids get so engulfed into whatever they're doing and whatever their belief is. That's the same thing that you have to do. We all know how to do it because we all did it when we were kids. And the only thing that happens is people break that out of you because people don't want you chasing your dreams. People want you chasing their dreams for themselves. Whose dream are you chasing? Are you chasing your dream or are you chasing someone else's dream? Because I tell you what, you can chase your dream. All you have to do is believe in it. If you believe in it, you can ask the right questions, you can get the right answers. It leads you to asking more questions. That is going to become with the only destination being what you dreamed and what you believed. That's it for me today, guys. That is it. I want you guys to have an awesome, incredible day. I already know that you guys are going to do all the fun social media stuff like, comment, share, subscribe, get the bell on, follow. And then if you are Bucked Up or Liquid IV fans, you got to go to my socials on Instagram or TikTok with the link in the bio. So it's at mighty_Q21. Click the link in the bio. Get yourself 20% off both Liquid IV and Bucked Up. Get some awesome products. But that's going to do it for me today with Switch Up Sports. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.